Gabe, hurry up.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another Vettie and Gabe video. Today we're reacting to scary SCP shorts. So let's do this.
Yes, and I'm sure you guys saw the clip in the beginning. So Gabe here tried to be a little slick and sneak into the room here and scare the crap out of me. So good job. That was embarrassing. That's a keeper. So yeah, so we're gonna be reacting to SCPs, short films or short videos on YouTube. Okay, so if you don't know what that is, Gabe's gonna explain it to you. Please explain.
They're basically like, have you ever heard of Siren Head?
Yes.
That's an SCP. Have you ever heard of the Rake?
Yes.
That's an SCP. Have you ever heard of the Shy Guy? Not the Mario character.
I think I have, yeah.
He's like, when you look at his face, he like chases you down until you like...
That's not nice. So, basically they're just fake characters.
They're just like these like anomalies that are kept in containment by a company called SCP. It stands for Secure, Contain, and Protect, and they capture anomalies and keep them safe and do testing on them. And they have this little like prison area called Class D. They basically get death row inmates and use them for science projects.
Okay.
And there's like a whole like operation behind it, like the security department, the extraction department, Delta, Alpha, and then I think some of you have heard of this, but there's the O5 class, which is basically like the CEOs, and there's like 5 of them, I think. But it's basically just prison for like creatures and those death row inmates.
So basically they're like cryptids.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. All right. So why don't we start looking up at some? Okay, the most terrifying SCPs in existence.
All right.
The SCP Foundation is an organization dedicated to protecting humanity, not from wars or disease, but supernatural entities and anomalies called SCPs. Though some are harmless, others are so terrifying that locking them away from the rest of the world is the only way to protect mankind from their existence. From killer creatures to cursed objects, the vaults of the Foundation are filled to the brim with nightmare-inducing entities. And with that, it's time to take a tour of the most terrifying of them all. So, strap in and get ready to face some of your darkest fears.
The intro goes crazy.
SCP-173, the Sculpture. If you're ever unfortunate enough to be left in a room with SCP-173, its utterly bizarre appearance might make you look twice. But whatever you do, don't take your eyes off it. Even though it's made from a simple mix of reinforced steel, concrete, and spray paint, this SCP is somehow animate. Not only that, it displays a vicious resentment towards anything that moves, providing they're not looking straight at it. Even a quick blink gives it the opportunity to rush forward and attack, meaning the last thing you'd ever see is that unnervingly painted face suddenly looming over you. But after seeing that thing up close, death would almost certainly be preferable. Now, let's quickly test how good you'd be if you were locked in a staring contest with this malevolent SCP. Okay. Without taking your eyes off the screen, see if you can hit those like and subscribe buttons. Oh my God. Did you manage to hit both? If so, there's a good chance you might actually survive an encounter with this sadistic sculpture. Although, you might not be so lucky with the next SCP. SCP-087, the Stairwell. When you were a kid, was there anything more terrifying than walking down an unlit staircase? The steps felt like they went down forever, and you could have sworn there was something lurking in the dark. Your parents probably told you it was just your imagination, but the existence of SCP-087 will make you wish they were right. In the building of an undisclosed college campus, SCP-087 manifests as a never-ending, shadowy platform staircase. Test subjects sent down to explore the stairwell report that it goes down far beyond the structure of the building or any geological surroundings. However, they're never alone in the darkness. Subjects have reported hearing the pleading cries of a young child echoing from the shadows around them. But no matter how far down they go, they're never able to reach its source. In one final exploration, subjects documented their descent using a video camera, hoping to capture some evidence of the source on film. Instead, one still frame revealed this haunting face peering out of the shadows at them. It follows anyone who tries to descend, remaining just out of reach while shadowing their every move. Although some test subjects have re-emerged from the endless depths, others haven't been so lucky. It's unknown if they're still alive down there, or if they've been lost to the haunting cries and infinite darkness of SCP-087 forever. SCP-149, the Mosquito. The common mosquito is arguably the worst animal on the planet. The blood-sucking menace can transmit hundreds of diseases, killing countless people and leaving many others covered in infuriatingly itchy bite marks. But as terrible as they are, they're nothing compared to SCP-149. It's an unnatural breed of mosquito that carries a truly repulsive retrovirus. While a regular mosquito might leave you with malaria, one bite from SCP-149 will warp your DNA and leave you riddled with hundreds, sometimes thousands of mosquito eggs. They typically line the sinuses or esophagus, resembling unimaginably creepy clusters of cysts. But the real horror show starts when they begin to hatch. After just a few hours, the cysts burst, revealing swaths of brand new baby mosquitoes, all of which clamber out of the nearest orifice. This means the mouth, nose, and even eyes of the poor victim are chokingly overrun by the insidious swarm. The event is often fatal, and considering how horrendous having thousands of mosquitoes climbing out of your face must feel, I'd say that's actually a good thing. SCP-049, the Plague Doctor. At first sight, you'd be forgiven for thinking SCP-049 was just someone messing around in a Plague Doctor Halloween costume. Well, minus the spandex and pantyhose, but this creepy getup is part of its identity, quite literally. The thick, hide-like robes and beaked, bone-white mask grow out of its face and body, almost like a second skin. But despite its monstrous exterior, SCP-049 acts surprisingly human. It speaks a comprehensive mix of languages, including English and medieval French, and while it usually acts politely, the briefest physical contact with SCP-049 causes a living creature to instantly drop dead, after which this Doctor of Death will demand to cure them. However, this doctor's cure usually involves the gruesome reanimation of the corpse. In its zombified state, the creature is then bound to the will of SCP-049, allowing it to create an aggressive army of undead minions. Fortunately, it's securely contained. But if the world is suddenly overrun by a zombie apocalypse, you know exactly who to blame. SCP-1562, the Slide. Do you remember how awesome playground slides used to be? Before the world had ever heard of health and safety, you could slide down them at breakneck speeds with the guarantee of a scraped knee or two at the end. But not if you've ever slid down SCP-1562, because, shockingly, you'd never make it to the end. The slide was requisitioned by the SCP Foundation after several children in its area went missing. They later discovered that anyone who slid down this metal death trap head first inexplicably vanished a few inches before the end. To find out where it led, they sent down test subjects with safety lines and radios to report back. They emerged in a small, cramped tunnel with no light, surrounded on all sides by rock and dirt. But while the radios worked, the lines were severed, meaning there was no way to get them back out. Before the panic fully set in, they briefly squeezed their arms to feel around the tunnel. Then they reported they'd found something. It was a shoe. A very small, unmistakably child-sized shoe. To date, no one has been rescued from this unimaginably claustrophobic dimension, and with all testing reportedly suspended, there's no light at the end of this tunnel. SCP-2170, the clown vaccine. Having an irrational fear of clowns is no laughing matter. Their garishly bright smiles, overpainted features, and goofy laughs can completely paralyze people with panic. And if that description alone had you feeling slightly uncomfortable, be sure to stay away from Tonopah, Nevada, because it's here, in this hideously triggering motel, that the SCP-2170 are currently contained. They're mimetic entities, which spawn during a kind of infected thought process. In that way, they live in your mind and feed off your thoughts, which in this case is triggered only in those who have a fear of clowns. While they don't actually resemble the freakish fools themselves, they constantly perch on the edge of the sufferer's vision. Prolonged exposure to SCP-2170 results in crippling paranoia and hostility before leading to their death. So if the thought of oversized shoes and big red noses sets you on edge, maybe take Nevada off your list of places to visit.
Noted.
SCP-303, the Doorman.
Oh, no.
Sometimes it's not what an anomaly can do, but what it looks like that can paralyze you with fear. And the perfect case in point to prove that is SCP-303. This emaciated humanoid haunts the shadowy corners of darkened windows, bearing its most terrifying feature, that massive grinning mouth. With no other discernible facial features, its oversized humanoid teeth take up more than half of its head, accompanied only by a skin-crawling wheezing noise. Though the malicious sight has full-grown men cowering in fear and crying for their mommies, SCP-303 never attacks, and if someone gathers the courage to try and view it without a pane of glass in the way, it quickly dematerializes. Though it reappears later, constantly haunting the doorways of unlucky humans, it's never made any attempt to communicate. Instead, it chooses to eternally lurk in the shadows, scaring people witless with that monstrous mouth whenever it can. SCP-3199. Humans refuted. During a blackout, the last thing you want to stumble across is the large, bow-legged bulk of SCP-3199. Standing at a gigantic 9.5 feet tall and weighing over 1,700 pounds, the huge body of this spine-chilling entity resembles a freshly plucked chicken. Tests revealed that SCP-3199 is comprised of at least 6 types of DNA, including silky chicken and human. This unnatural combination means that instead of hard bone, its spine consists of cartilage, allowing it to hellishly dislocate its neck and twist its head 340 degrees around. So you can forget trying to sneak up on this thing from behind, though God knows why you'd want to, because despite its chicken genes, it's a terrifyingly opportunistic predator. When it comes into contact with the living prey, it somehow dissolves their internal organs and bones, turning them into a liquid-filled skin sack. It then drags its pre-digested meal to its nest, where its hideous young slurp it up like a kind of sickening meat soup. It can have multiple nests, some of which are filled with 800-pound hatchlings, meaning most of the adult's time is spent hunting for their next meal. But when it does have the opportunity, it lays a new egg. Not by squatting, but by passing it through its digestive tract and out through its mouth, screaming excruciatingly the entire time. I'm not sure what's worse, that face or what comes out of it. What do you think? Let me know down in the comments. SCP-096, the Crying Man. Some of these awful anomalies make you want to scrunch your eyes shut, cover your ears, and cry out for your mommy. And if you want to avoid the wrath of SCP-096, that's exactly what you should do. But in the event that someone does catch a glimpse of its freaky facade, then all hell suddenly breaks loose. This long-limbed anomaly will desperately shield its face before letting out a stream of blood-curdling wails and screeches. After a heart-stopping minute, its distress turns into pure, unadulterated rage, and it'll begin hunting after whoever saw its face. But finally, once this SCP finds its unfortunate victim, it destroys them with an ungodly ferocity. So much so that when it's finished, not a single trace of its victim's body remains. SCP-68.
Isn't that the one that even if you stare at it like through a picture, it can still haunt you? Or hunt you, I'm sorry?
Okay, even, like, you know how you guys see me, that's through pixels. Pixels are very complicated. Take a STEM class if you don't know what pixels are. Basically, if you see like a pixel, one singular, even a half of a pixel, you're dead. But
really,
if you see a painting of it, you're good.
okay. So painting of it is good, but anything other than that, you're screwed.
Yeah, and you know the rake?
Yeah,
that's 096. That's actually the painting that the painting that was said that's his.
Oh, gotcha. All right, let's continue then.
Day 2, the hard-to-destroy reptile. Just the idea of dunking a living thing into flesh-eating acid is enough to make most people feel uneasy. But in the case of SCP-682, I bet no one would give a second thought to pulling that lever. Also known as the hard-to-destroy reptile, this terrifyingly large and vastly intelligent creature has the unique ability to regenerate and shed different parts of its body. The Foundation has tried on multiple occasions to destroy it, but despite being torn apart, blown to pieces, dropped in acid, and even forced to engage with other deadly SCPs, it cannot be neutralized. The complexity and speed of its regeneration process allows it to heal fatal wounds in a matter of seconds. So, for the sake of humanity, it's kept contained in that vat of previously mentioned flesh-eating acid. There, it's forced to constantly regenerate until its researchers find a way to destroy it once and for all. SCP-957, Bait. The way that some of these SCPs kill, maim, or devour their victims makes you wonder if they're completely empty inside. However, that's quite literally the case with SCP-957. This thin, hollow humanoid creature has a distorted torso that sports an unnaturally large tear, showing that its body is completely devoid of any internal organs. Gut-wrenching as that is, the way it hunts down its victims is even more disturbing. Firstly, it seeks out a house occupied by a single human being. Before it can be restrained, it forces the victim into the hollow of its chest, which leads to its own pocket dimension. When the poor, unfortunate soul reemerges hours later, it's missing its eyes and its memory. Inexplicably, the individual is now convinced they have been blind all their life. And, more disturbingly, that SCP-957 is a close family member who they care for. SCP-1471, the application. The world we live in seems to have a mobile app for just about everything, including one that serves as a home for one of the most unnerving SCPs ever discovered. Before it was erased from the web, the seemingly harmless application could be downloaded as the innocently named Mal0 version 1.
Don't download it, people.
1.0.0 little app had no listed developer, enticing risk takers to download it and see what would happen. At first, none of the downloads seemed to work, but then, after 6 hours, users started receiving messages with photos of places they had recently been, each containing the unfathomably perturbing SCP-1471-A. As you can see, the anomaly manifests as a large canned skull with long matted hair. This hulking monster slowly begins to appear closer and closer in each image, almost as if it's stalking its prey. But then, after 90 hours, individuals exposed to this anomaly will start to see SCP-147-A wherever they look. Though it's not aggressive, it will constantly lurk in their vision, never leaving them alone or giving them a moment's rest. Could you imagine waking up in the middle of the night to see this thing watching over you? I think I'd prefer to never wake up.
Good.
SCP-2521, Unspeakable. Of all the terrifying SCPs I've described so far, there's one that's quite literally unspeakable. SCP-2521 is an ominous humanoid creature that's made up of strange black tentacles. It uses these, along with some reality-shifting abilities, to phase itself through walls and envelop its prey before disappearing into the darkness. Aside from this, not much is known about SCP-2521, because all records about it are kept as a series of pictograms and photographs. This is because it can track down and immediately consume any written information produced about it. Not only that, it'll seek out anyone who reveals the information through speech and... Oh no. It's here! It's actually here! Oh, I'm sorry! Oh my god, please help me! Ah! Do not pay attention to what you just heard. I assure you that everything is under control. We have now come to the end of the video. Please, write down in the comments which SCP you found the most.
Human.
Human. Yes.
Anyway,
So... Sorry. So, SCPs are... So they're just basically like... Are they like you know, like creepypastas are just like a scary story type thing? So is that what... They're just fake stuff, basically?
Yeah, fake creatures, anomalies, and entities.
Okay, that's comforting. But how... here's my question. Can SCPs be based off actual creatures? Because, you know, in this world, especially, like, if you watch Stranger Things, or, like, if you check out my podcast for the Montauk Project, there's, you know, secret labs that they have all these creatures and things like that, you know, they do experiments on. We have an abandoned military base. It's like probably within about an hour from us, you know, and well, it could be abandoned, it could be old and closed, but we don't know that. Like, what really goes on there, like Area 51, what goes on there really? And then actually, I want to say earlier last year of 2023, I remember reading a post about Wrightwood, California, how somebody talked about like a creature they saw there. And that's really not that far from us. It's like, it's right there, you know? So
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know if it's my poor memory and what you just said, but when we went snowboarding there, and when I looked at the trees, I actually saw like a pair of legs. I don't know if it was like just someone standing there, because when I turned around and looked at my cousin, and I turned back around, it was gone.
My thing is, like, it's unbelievable, and the creativity of these, you know, like these creatures, it's just, honestly, it's amazing. I think that whoever created them or whatever, just their backstories and stuff are, they're awesome. Isn't there like a video game or something with them?
Yeah, like indie developers would like make them as horror games. I actually have one installed. It's free on Steam. It's it's not sponsored, by the way. It's called a SCP containment multiplayer.
Right, we're not sponsored. You know, no offense, but you kind of look like a SCP right now with the mask on. Don't do that.
Especially with the red room, it just looks terrifying.
It does. I like it though. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up here, and let us know what SCPs you guys enjoyed, or which one's your favorite that maybe we didn't even talk about here. You know, let us know in the comment below. What do you guys want us to react to next time and stuff? Any scary stuff? Try not to laugh challenge? What do you guys enjoy? Gabe, any last thoughts?
You guys should definitely subscribe to my YouTube channel. Nickname _2293. And this YouTube channel, mainly this one, because this one is it's a really good one. I love watching this channel. It's like my favorite channel. I am subscribed. I do comment on every video I am in,
and I appreciate it. Thank you.
I like it. I try to show her as much support because she showed me so much support in my life. It's the least I can do.
Aww, he loves his mama.
Yeah,
that's why he's hiding his face. He doesn't want his friends to know who he is, because then they'll identify him like, hey, Miss Vettie's your mom, or Vettie's your mom. Wow,
I showed most of my close friends this channel, so it's fine.
Alright, well, thank you guys so much for watching. We truly appreciate it. Please subscribe and comment down below, like I said, what you guys want to see next time. And until then, see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.